Hello guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's me here again, JolaGraphics, and I'm here with another beautiful tutorial where I'm going to be showing you guys how to come up with a beautiful, simple and classic looking flyer design using Photoshop. So obviously the first thing I want to do is actually head straight to Photoshop. So I currently use Photoshop CC 2014, but feel free to follow along the tutorial with any other version of Photoshop you are using. So the first thing we want to do is actually go back to our file and create a new document. So we can actually see the shortcut in the front. So we're just going to click on it, and then our workspace, we want a 2000 by 2000 pixel, and the resolution is going to be 300. So while this is set, we're just going to go ahead and hit OK, and then this is going to be our workspace. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be dropping a link in the description section where you guys can download all the resource files we'll be using, which are these. Meanwhile, I want you guys to stay tuned, as the password to the zip file is going to be included somewhere around here in the video. So let's dive straight in. Okay, what I want to do first is actually type in everything that's going to be in our design. So I'm going to select the text tool over here, and then just click anywhere and type all what is going to be there. So I'm going to meet you guys up in a jiffy. Okay guys, so actually this is everything that's going to be included in our design. So the next thing we want to do is actually break and rearrange, but before then I would like to import a background to make our design look lively while we work. So I'm just going to drag this straight into Photoshop like this and just hit enter. So yeah, we basically have our background. So what I have in mind is to create a screen layer style over here, where this background is going to actually blend well with our real background. So yeah, I just actually drag this in and hit enter. Then you change the blend mode to screen. So we've got screen over here, and we can, as you can see, it has a beautiful effect right here, which is beautiful actually. So yeah, the next thing I want to do is actually drag in the logo of the church. Oops, yeah, just like so, and then basically reduce the size like so. And then we have present. I'm going to ease the text to over here and come over here and cut this out. So I'm going to actually create a selection around this and hit Ctrl X to cut, or probably you could just right click and use the cut option, and then select your pick tool and come back here again, and then click on an empty space, then you paste. So I'll basically be repeating this process over and over again, so I won't be explaining each time I'm doing that. So you actually increase the size, and then you use your text to click in between, Ctrl A to select all, then you hit your Ctrl T, or you just come over this pane over here, then you can space them like so, and probably reduce the size also. So if we basically be having something like this, I want to centralize it here. So just feel free to play around your design. You can make it as big and as small as you like. So I don't want it too big, so I'm just going to reduce the size like this and set the color to black. Yeah, black. then hit Control Enter, or you could just select your pick tool instead. Then we have build trust, so I'm going to select these two together and hit Control X, or you can right click and cut manually. Then you can drop your tool here and then select your pick tool once again, and then you paste this time around. So after doing so, it's actually reduced the size, so I'm just going to increase this and then rearrange while I shift these ones to the bottom part. I hold my shift and I gradually play around with the size. So I'm going to hit it and go to the character pane once again. What I'm going to be doing is change everything to capital letter. So we have the all caps option here. Now I want the size of the build to be a bit smaller to that of the trust, so I'm going to reduce the size over here. So we have something basically like this, and then we could reduce the spacing here also. Okay, you could use your Alt and your arrow key to arrange it, but it's kind of the tracking is kind of much, so I think the best thing to do is actually use this place. So yeah, you drag it if you are contented. I think I'm going to manage it just like this. So we actually get build trust over here. So I'm just going to increase the size a bit, then shift it up. Just feel free to play around it. Meanwhile, this logo is actually not a real logo. It's obviously we can see Jola here, so it's just cruise. Yeah, I call it cruise. Okay, so I'm going to cut this part also. And then paste it in an empty space also. Like so. Okay, so I'm going to you just gradually have to play around it. It's design, so you own it. You don't let it speak for you, you know. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to increase the size once again. I'm going to use the text to select this and then change the color of this to this deep purple over here. You could copy the code if you want to do exact the same design with me. So I just click OK. Then this part here, I'm going to change the color to black. So as we can see, we are using one font so far, which is called Sequel Sans, and this is a font I started using when I noticed it from one of my boss. He's also a YouTuber. His name is JolaGraphics. So yeah, I'm going to be dropping a link to his channel, so you guys should check it out. He has a lot of amazing content you guys can learn from. Okay, Okay, so yeah, we basically have this so far. So now we also have the dates. So I'm just going to cut this out. So I want this to be a bit bigger than this, and then I'm going to be changing the font style to something that's not italic. SQL Sans is a font family, so it has a lot of options you could change and you'll be totally free. It's a very lovely font. So yeah, I want it all caps, so I'm going to increase the spacing and then just basically rearrange this. Okay, so for this also I want them to go side by side, that's having the Thursday and then the Friday go side by side. So what I want to do is actually cut this out. I just basically rearrange. I'm going to duplicate this, hit my text tool, come back here, select all using the Ctrl A and paste. So yeah, we've got this so far. I'm going to paste, copy this part also. I'm cutting it out. So since we've done this, I think the last thing remaining here should be this text, which is the address. So I'm going to cut off the remaining spaces using the delete. Okay, so yeah, we got something like this. So I'm going to duplicate this one and then paste the other. Okay, yeah, the Thursday rather. I'm going to be pasting the Thursday here. So we've got Thursday and Friday side by side. What I want to do again is reduce the size of the Thursday a bit, so that it won't be as big as this. So let's say we make it 9 points. We'll do the same for Friday also. 9 points. Hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to select these two of them, make it like this. Sorry, oops, yeah, like this. And then I'm just going to group them together and then centralize it with all these ones we've got here already. Then probably select the group and then increase the size together. I'm going to change the colors to black. The same thing for this one also. I'm going to be changing this also to black. Okay. So yeah, you just basically rearrange everything. We've got our design almost ready. So I'm going to be using this rectangle tool, and then I'm just going to draw a random rectangle around here, and then hide this. I'm going to be giving this purple color over here. And then I'm going to be duplicating it here also. So I want it to be before the presents. Probably reduce the size to be around here, like so. And then shift it up a bit. So we've got something like this. Then down here also, I'm going to be creating a rectangle Then I'm going to be rotating. Oops. I'm rotating it like this. At the middle, I'm going to hit the control and then just rotate it a bit like this, or a little bit more. Okay, yeah, so I'm just going to leave this like this and then drag this in. Like so, and then reduce the size like this. And then centralize it. Oops. So let's hit this, hold Control Shift and select this and then centralize it well. So we actually get them well aligned to the center. Okay, so yeah, it's well aligned to the center so far. So the next thing I want to do is actually create a little beautiful gradient around this build. So I want to create a new layer using the Ctrl Shift N, or just come over this new icon here and then use my eyedropper tool, which is this, to select this color, and then I'm just going to play around it and get something lighter like so. So I'm going to be holding, okay, I'm just going to right click on the new layer I created above this build trust. So when I right click on it, I'll just create clipping mask and then use my brush. I'm using a soft round edge brush, so I'm just going to use it to dap over the middle like this. So it's just going to give us this cool gradient around it. So you are free to just arrange it whatever way you like. So this is going to be a beautiful gradient around our text. So yeah, the next thing we want to do is actually tweak our background a bit. So our background is looking a bit orangish rather, pardon, while our design is a bit purplish. So I'm going to be using the hue and saturation option, and then I'm just going to actually just play around it, and then yeah, I think this should do. So we've actually done something really nice here. So one last thing I want to do, I forgot to add it to our list, so I'm just quickly going to come over to download. Yeah, I downloaded it from so I'm just going to copy this now and then paste it here in the project files. So I'm just going to drag this straight to Photoshop, then hit enter, Ctrl A, and then align it to the top. Okay, so now we're actually seeing almost nothing happening right here. So I'm going to change the blend mode to subtract, and we can see it has this crisp to it. So let's reduce this a bit, and then okay, yeah, so that is pretty much all for today's tutorial. If you find this tutorial helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel. And then one last thing, I really appreciate you all, because today I was motivated when I saw my subscriber count has gotten to 1,000. It's just like a dream to me. So I'm really glad. I appreciate you guys for taking your time to subscribe. So I'll be coming up with more beautiful content. So if you are not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I love you all. I remain Jola.